See that guy down there riding his bike in the sunshine? Yeah, that's me. In 1988, maybe 1990, it's hard to remember, it's such a long time ago now, I flew out to Catalonia on my honeymoon. And the minute I got off the plane, I noticed something weird had happened to me. The hairs on my arm stood up, and the back of my neck, I felt really odd, like I'd come home. Now I know a lot of you say that, but this really is my spiritual home. I've spent all the years since trying to make the dream come true. And when Brexit happened, I applied for my biometric. And now, I live here. Now over the years, as you can see, if you've been coming a long time, Lourdes has changed immensely. There was one taverna on that beach when I first came, and none of these houses were here, maybe one or two. So you could say that me and the island have changed a lot over the years. I mean, I'm divorced now. Some things are for good, some things are for the worse. I mean, the divorce was terrible, but I've got 2 good children out of it. And I suppose the island now generates a good income for the people who live here. So it's not all bad. If you could, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like, share and subscribe, sat back and enjoyed the ride. Who am I? Well, my name's Rudgy, otherwise known to the bike world as the Doctor. So, let's get into it and see what's going on in my life today, shall we? It's Friday, here we go. Well, Happy New Year, and yeah, let's hope it's as epic as last year was. Down there, the beautiful Catelios. I think we're at December the 15th as I'm filming this. I'm getting ready to do the Christmas special and lots of editing, so I'm not getting out and about as much as I'd like to. We've had a lot of rain. So first time I've been out on the bike for weeks. Anyway, as you can see, it's a lovely day. It's warm enough that I can just get away with a sweatshirt on the bike, and I've got my jacket, my flying jacket, for the trip back because I'm heading out towards Poros today. But I just thought I'd share this with you. What a great day to be alive. Should we get on with it? Right, there we go. Right, well, as you could see, it's tarmac all the way down to about there, and then we've got a compacted gravel road, which in the summer gets very, very dusty. But it wouldn't bother me bringing a hire car down here, but you make your own mind up about that, as always. So let's go and have a look at the beach, shall we? Right, here we go. I've put some steps in since I was last here, but I haven't been down there for about a year, I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. You'll have, those of you who watch me regular will have seen it in the videos. Now look, little pussycat come to see me. Got one ear. Oh, you're in the right old state, aren't you? Hey? Huh? Yeah. Now, this beach is usually quite a bit wider than this, but as I've explained, in the winter we get a lot of storms. So the barometric pressure alters the sea level slightly, because we haven't got a tidal reach here as such. It's 8 to 10 inches, which is nothing really. And of course we also get seismic activity, which causes, I've been reading about this, it causes mini tsunamis further out at sea, which drag the sand away from the beaches, apparently. There you go, a bit of science for you. Now in the summer, this beach is pretty unspoilt. There's a few brollies down there, and they're quite cheap. A few brollies and some beds, nothing too major. And there's a taverna which seemed to organise it just there. I've never been in the taverna, so I couldn't tell you what the food's like, but I do know that they come out, there's two guys sat there. If you look back through my videos, there's usually two guys sat there handling the sunbeds, and they'll go and get your drinks and stuff. Well, that's what they were doing anyway. And yeah, for your bearings, we've just come from over that way. Catelios is just there. I'll put the name of the beach up right now. What a great day to be alive. I think it's the 15th of December today as I'm filming this. And as I've said, it's warm enough for me to ride around on the bike in just a sweatshirt. I have brought my flying jacket with me. I'm intending to go out to Poros today, and I might be riding back once the sun's gone down. It'll be a bit chillier then. I think it's about 11 or 12 degrees on my balcony in the shade. It's nothing like that in the sunshine, it's much warmer. Look at this expansive beach here. You can walk all the way along almost into Scala, and then the dirt track road takes you round and then goes back up onto the road. This cat's been doing a few miles. I don't know whether you can see his footprints in the sand there. Poor old thing. Yeah, I've got one like you at home that does that. Yeah. What a great day to be alive. Right, I'm going to hop on the bike now, and I'll take you up the other end of the beach. Show you what that's like. There's a big hotel up there, and I'm not a fan of hotels. Each to their own. You know, I'm more of a Airbnb, self-catering sort of person, really. But I don't mind stopping in hotels occasionally. But anyway, this one down here interests me somewhat. And if I didn't live here and I was just visiting and I needed a hotel, it'd probably be one of the places I'd check out. So if you've stayed there, leave in the comments what you thought about it. Anyway, let's get back up to the bike. And head off that way. Bit of signage for you. Let's go. Right, let's crack on. That's a few potholes that need filling in. But yeah, like I said, this dirt track road is usually pretty good in the summer. I think they grade it again after the winter storms. Like so, I'm not telling you can bring your hire car down there. It's just that it wouldn't bother me too much. It's like anything else. Bit of common sense, take your time, and you'll be all right. So they've had a bit of a landslide there. Now that place there, I have had a coffee at. The young lady that served me was very helpful. Yeah, this selfie stick doesn't really work as well as the other one down the old jacket. So if you've gone a bit skew with, I apologise. Dodging potholes. Well, I haven't been down here for, like I say, about a year. There's been some changes. There used to be some trees here. They've gone. And they're putting some concrete down. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, not much has changed down that way by the looks of it. Now, in a previous video, I said this reminded me of Borth in Wales. That's sort of why, the sand dunes I suppose, and the road in. Yeah, funny how certain things, because it's nothing like Borth really. But yeah, I think it's the sand dunes and the road in that reminds me of Borth. What a cracking day. Great day to be alive. Bit of rubbish on the beach. People leaving bottles, one of my pet hates. Look at them, loads of them everywhere, look. As you can see, this is a fantastic, unspoilt beach. Now, in the summer, this is the hotel I was on about earlier. In the summer, they do have a few sunbeds here, but not many. And of course, you've only got to walk a few yards up there and you're away from them all. It really is a great place, isn't it? This island is just, I can see why people fall in love with it. What a great day to be alive. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing there. If you live anywhere around here and you know, let me know about that. There's some pipe work there. I hope they're not going to build something. We don't need that. And they've just come through one of the dunes. I watched I watched a documentary last night that Karen from Down the Rabbit Hole sent me the link to on YouTube about net zero, basically, about windmills. You're all going, oh, here he goes, windmills, wind farms, and these places that burn wood pellets. Blimmin' scary. We are a very destructive animal on this planet, and yeah, it sort of agreed with my lines. We need to look after the rainforest and plant more trees. Doesn't matter what we use, it's going to have the same effect, really. In fact, some things are worse than others. It turns out that a lot of these things, solar and wind farms, are probably worse than what we were using to start with. But I'll let you argue that. That's my opinion, and it was the opinion of the guy who did the documentary. Yeah, it was quite interesting and very scary at the same time. Yeah, he was asking people how long he thought the human race would last. It's quite interesting, some of the answers. What a fantastic beach. Anyway, I'm going to make my way over to Poros now. One of the viewers in the comments asked if I could film the road to Poros, so that'll be coming up. I'm going to do. I'm going to get a coffee while I'm over there. Look at the blooming debris on this beach. I wish people would take the stuff home with them. There's just no need for it, really. Makes me cross. That's the other thing I just thought about. It's alright it looks like I've had some pretty heavy equipment along here. That's all well and good, but you see these little wigwam things there? They were for the turtles when the turtles were nesting, I suppose you'd call it. They dig a hole and bury their eggs, don't they? And then charities and that put these around them so that we don't disturb them when we're on holiday. So yeah, I'd like to know exactly what they're doing. It's interesting. Of course, it could always be something to do with drainage, which is something else. You know, they go on about climate change, all the floods and things we have. Well, as I said in an earlier video, you build all these houses and put concrete down. Where's the water supposed to go? Where's it used to soak in the ground? It's now got to run off somewhere else. And that's a problem this island seems to suffer from quite badly. Look at all them solar panels up there. Look. It's not the way forward. Part of the solution. Anyway, let's crack on. Let's get on the bike and go and find myself a nice coffee somewhere. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they're doing there. Also, I've noticed they've covered the signage up. Yeah, I haven't read anything in the local paper. Like I say, if you know anything, I'd be interested to see what's going on. Anyway. Right, here we are, riding through the back of Scala. I would walk round it, but there's not a lot happening. Everything's closed. Well, here we are. That's where we are. Now, I'll just do my hair because makeup aren't here. I don't know how much further we're going to be able to go. I might have to turn around and go back. There's signs everywhere saying the road's closed. We might be able to get through on the bike. I know they had a few more landslides. Been a lot of writings on the newspapers about this road and how they need to invest more money in it. Now, I remember this being built. There was tarmac up to about here, I think it was. And then you went up and round and over the top. I remember this road being built probably about 97, 98. They started building it. And you went round that way, obviously, then, like you do now. But back in the day, you used to have to go up and over. And it was a goat track, basically. Locals used it. Very, very rough track. And to find your way from the Scala end, there were three, I remember there were 3 olive trees, and you had to go between 2 of them and follow that track. If you followed the other track, you ended up in the middle of nowhere. And it brought you out here. Yeah, that was the days when Poros was a long way from Augustoli back then, because even the main road was part gravel, part concrete, part tarmac. Depended what mayor paid for what, apparently, back then. Anyway, I thought I'd stop and show you this little beach here. Of course, this time of year with the storms, they're all covered in seaweed and driftwood and what have you. Anyway, let's see how far we can get. those of you who want to visit the submarine memorial, it's just down there. I would take a look, but I'm on a mission. I need to get a coffee. The sun's starting to set, so we'll keep that for another day. Yeah, we'll do that another day. I need a coffee. Well, here we go, Poros, one of the main ports on the island. This is where the ferry leaves for Kalini. You can see the mainland behind me over there. So yeah, hit Kalini and then you can ride into Athens from there, which I'm probably going to do next year. I was going to do it this year, but it didn't quite work out. Now I'd normally go into Remezzo over there. But I noticed the portions, a lot of the places did this year. I think it's because they hadn't got as many people as they wanted, so the portions got a bit smaller. So, as I'm on the budget, I wasn't keen on that. And in any case, this place over here has an open fire, a stove in the corner, so you can get nice and warm. And it's just starting to get a tad chilly. So I'm going to go and get a coffee, and then we'll head round the beach, where I'll tell you something that's shook me a little bit. But I'll tell you about that after I've had my coffee. Cheers. One of my favourite things about this place is the bar. I'd like to build something like that back at Villa Joro. It's half a boat, and then on the shelf behind they cleverly put the sails. Clever stuff, looks cool as well. So you can see why this is one of my favourite destinations now, can't you? Just like that, it was time to hit the road again. Sometimes you get a bit too comfortable, don't you? Sit next to that too long. Yeah, that's what happens. You can't blame it really, can you? Anyway, I'm going to go and pay for the food I've just had and the coffee, and I'm heading home. Right, well, wasn't sure whether to do this or not really, but anyway, that's where we've just been. That's the port of Poros. Got some sad news. Some of you may know a guy that used to paint. Some of you may well know a guy that used to paint the stones up on the end of the beach here. Maybe walk up there. I think it's more appropriate I do this from there. So you have to go down here. Yeah, anyway, these stones and bits and pieces here now, Jackie, the Hobbit, messaged me a couple of nights ago now to say, did I know that he'd passed away? And I was a bit, well, no, is that true? I mean, it was on Facebook, so anyway, I've just asked the guy where I've just had my sandwich and my coffee, and he said, yeah, apparently they reckon he went out for a swim and they think he might have had a heart attack. They haven't found him, I don't think. It's a bit difficult. The guy spoke English, but not fantastic. Of course, my Greek's terrible, so. But yeah, it seems that that has indeed happened. So, I wasn't expecting his artwork to still be here. So this might be the last time we see this, because when we get the storms, it won't do these any good. But it's one of those things that you don't want to be true, isn't it? Maybe somebody's coming to look after this for him, I don't know. I hope that somebody is looking after it for him. There's his workbench. Yeah. The last time we saw him, he was cooking some chicken legs on there. And he got on quite well with the Hobbit, and he offered us some. He'd only got a little bit of chicken there, and he offered us some chicken and some wine. I probably used to come and see him 2 or 3 times a year. Yeah, I'll miss him. He always remembered me by my rings when he first met me. I think the problem is people like this that make this sort of stuff, characters like this, were slowly starting to lose. Probably because of the phone and the internet. And kids today, well, they're brought up differently, aren't they? He was very passionate about his art. Anyway, I shall go and get a pebble from on the beach down there, not one of these coloured ones.
because we don't want people doing that, taking souvenirs, do we? But yeah, I shall go and get a pebble from this beach, and I'll light a candle for him tonight. That's sad. Mainland is very clear today. Look at that. Look at all those windmills over there. All I can say to him is, mate, you had the best of this world by the looks of it. I don't think there's much to say. Well, that's a depressing end to the film. I think we'll dedicate this to my old friend Yanis. Wherever you are, mate, I'm going to miss you. So will the world.